Hi, this is Scott Votaw with the Georgia Film Academy, and I'm here with Randy Davidson from Georgia Entertainment. And this is our brand new GFA podcast. We're all excited. This is kind of the test, the inaugural broadcast, and I'm invited my friend Randy to come and be with us. Thanks, Randy, for showing up.
It's great, Scott. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here, to see your tenure here at Georgia Film Academy and to, you and I had spoken and we had talked about, hey, why don't we do this first one? Let me ask you some questions that you've never heard before.
We're going to reverse roles for this.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. What was the most interesting thing as you were shaping your messaging to, in all these cities, Augusta and Rome, as you say? What was the most interesting thing that you saw sort of taking place in the view of Georgia Film Academy?
Well, it was to see the excitement, even in rural areas that don't have a lot of film industry, but there's still such a desire to want to have that creative and, economy part of their community. Support was amazing. They had heard about us. They knew what we were doing. And I just thought that, we had a lot of legislators and local government officials came out. The response was amazing.
It was. We counted them up last year in that one series, which we're doing it again, by the way, and we've got to drag you on the road again this year.
Can I go?
You can
All right,
go.
good. I want to go.
Because we did have a lot of fun, too, but we had over 2,000 people attend, and we had nearly 100 legislators, which is just over 200. And it was an amazing success to hear that, because you're right. Not obviously the production is currently more focused in the Atlanta area, but the workers that come here and the trend for the future is that those kids also. That was what meant the most to me, is that they want these opportunities in the creative industries, in the creative economy, and so I was very glad we did that.
I learned a lot coming and being at those places, because I got to hear Brennan Decker, from CMII, got to hear David Sutherland from UGA, and, their takes on the industry, their take on the impact that this industry's had on the culture of Georgia on a positive way I had never really thought of it that way. It's just amazing to see how it's evolved.
So now I am amazed at, the evolution. People think of film back then in 2008, no, not 2008, 2015 is when Nathan Deal installed it, right? Or it was voted on or legislated out. But the changes that have just happened in the last 8 years, like from what you guys were offering students and even the geographic locations, take us through a little, cliff notes of the history of the education.
I think when we first started the Film Academy, Trilith Studios, which then was known as Pinewood, was just a field. It was nothing there. There was no town. There was no sound stages. There was no production. It was just a vision from Dan Cathy. And so I've seen that come out of the ground. And we've been there training since the beginning. So we've been there, 8 years now.
Wow.
And then all the work that's going on, of course, Assembly Studios is amazing. But all the original folks that were there, Screen Gems was up and running at that point, and Mailing Avenue stages, and there were some others around, but there's other stages that were built, and it just started this catalyst of the industry coming, kind of barreling through, and it's been transformative.
From the infrastructure perspective, I mean, millions of square feet of purpose-built stages, retrofitted sound stages, which is actually even happening outside of the Atlanta metro area. But going back from that, or graduated from GFA, but going back a little bit, tell me about the education that a student could have gotten, in 2016 versus like now, and that's going to lead me into a couple of things I want to ask you about for the future. But what's different now from then?
I think we're targeting workforce training that is aligned to industry. So, everyone who teaches for us, all of our instructors are all industry professionals. They've got 10, 20, 30 years experience in the industry, and they're professionals at a highest level in their craft. And those are the people we hire to work with students. So it's a very different model. It's not, you don't go to a college and take a degree. We do a training certificate that gets embedded in colleges and technical colleges degree programs, whether it's 2-year, 4-year. We even work with master's students that are getting their MFA in film. to help them learn their craft. So it's really designed to getting people ready to go to work, which was a new focus and something that was kind of unique. We work with the colleges. We don't, it's not competitive. So we help the colleges give the students
Technical
something.
and university.
And technical college, university, and even the work in high schools. We are helping them to give the students what they need to be successful. That's our purpose. We're not a competition. We're a collaborative.
Right, right. But, just the age diversity, the general diversity of your students that have come through. Tell us a little bit about that. And then I want to hear, I want to ask you about, like, how are you recruiting students for the future? So,
All right, that's a really good point. So we've seen everything from high school students that are, they finish up early, they want to do some dual enrollment. We'll get high school students that are really hungry for this industry, and they come out. And then, we've had like men and women in their 60s that go, I'm just really interested in this. This is cool. And then they'll go out and get a job. It's amazing. And they'll get a job on a movie. They'll work in the prop department, or they'll work in set design, or maybe it's somebody who's has been a great seamstress all their life, and they go to work in wardrobe. They love it. They just love being around it. So we have people that are retooling. Maybe what they were doing has changed. Maybe they got tired of doing that, or maybe they retired early. They got a lot of time on their hands, and they'll come and take classes with us. It's amazing, and we're all in one group.
How do you see reaching, the student base of today? These kids are moving around and moving and shape. You can't just advertise on TV or traditional
that's why
ways.
we're doing this right here,
Yeah.
where we're in podcasts, and we're going to be doing things in the esports arena. We're going to tap into where the kids get their information from, and a lot of it is social media. It's not where we get our information from, but it's our job to figure out, how do I reach them? I can get them the message. It's easy to convey, right? Jobs, great jobs, entertainment industry, excitement, passion about, being involved in this sector. It's how do we reach them? And so we're doing studies. We're looking out. We're trying things. We're actually going to be working with some grad students from some of our universities to do some economic modeling and marketing modeling to see how do we reach these people? And then we're going to go and exploit those areas to get the word out. It's very easy to sign up. You go to our website, you can go to any of our partner institutions, you can sign up, just take a class, or you can get a degree, 2-year degree, 4-year degree. It's easy to do. Yeah. And if you're low income student in the state of Georgia, it really hardly costs anything if you're Pell and Hope eligible. So you can come in and take Georgia Film Academy. It's easy.
Yeah.
Anywhere you are in the state.
Yeah.
And we're reaching everyone. We're really pushing toward rural Georgia. Coastal Georgia right now is important to us because I can't be inclusive or diverse, Randy, unless I let all of Georgia be part of it.
That's
not just Atlanta Metro.
That's right.
This has to reach out. And the industry's flowing out. You see that when we've gone out. The industry is like spreading its tentacles all across the state. You see productions in Valdosta and Quintman right there with the new studio going in. You see it in Albany and Augusta and Savannah, and I even heard of a studio maybe going in Brunswick. So, wow, it's really spreading out across the state. And our friend Seth up in Rome, who does an amazing job with the film festival up there, Rome Film Festival. It's growing up there. You're seeing people, shooting up in that area a lot. They love Rome. It's so beautiful up there.
Yeah, I love the position of the Georgia Film Academy. I think it complements the state as we go out. Like we went to Sundance this year. We're looking at Cannes at this very moment that we're shooting this, which would be a big step. But Toronto, et cetera. Because a lot of folks see Georgia as another place with an incentive, but they don't understand the years that we have of workforce from thanks to GFA and other efforts. They don't see the infrastructure that we really have. So we feel like it's important to go and share that messaging as you did. I'm sure out in Venice, folks are surprised when they hear, and that's why they're all calling, trying to say, "Hey, how can we do a GFA in Rome or in Italy or something like that?"
If you talk to Lee Thomas, a lot of times that first thing we want to know is you got enough crew. That's the first thing the production company wants to know is do you have enough crew that we can bring our show here? You're busy. And that's part of that, what we're here for is to make sure they're a quality crew. And we work very closely with unions and workforce and production. We work closely with the big companies like Disney and NBC Universal and Netflix. And, we work with all of them to ensure that our students have the training and opportunities to be successful here in Georgia.
What are some of the expansion plans that you guys have? I know recently you made an announcement down in South Georgia through a partnership there. I know you can't break news here on the podcast here, but I would love to hear what you're thinking about around the state, even in Atlanta. I mean, what are some of the areas you're looking towards?
Well, we are looking at moving some things around in Atlanta, but I'll tell you this, if there's industry, right, and there's filming, it starts happening. The reason we went to Valdosta is there's a studio there. They're making their own content, and they're bringing other people that want to make content to that city in that area. If there's workforce needs, we'll come and train it. I said that to the guys in Brunswick. You build a studio, you start producing content, you've got meaningful workforce needs, we will address that. We're creating mobile platforms that we can take around the state that have all the gear and everything ready, and we'll bring the instructors in, and we'll train in those sectors. And we'll rotate that equipment around the state, that training around the state, based on the need. We start seeing more stuff in Albany. We start seeing more stuff in Augusta. We're going to start putting
demand-based.
Yeah, and that's what it is. If there's a demand, we will rise to meet the demand. If the demand settles somewhere and comes somewhere else, we'll just pick up our mobile platform, we'll move it over here. And we'll train this area for a while. And then we'll come back maybe next year and do some more training over here. We're going to meet the workforce needs where they are.
I want to ask you about industry.
Sure.
So I know you guys have a lot of partnerships, and based on your experience, you already had a lot of relationships with industry suppliers and strategic partners and things like that. I don't really understand. I think a lot of people don't really understand that there are opportunities for industry to align somehow with GFA. How can Georgia-based businesses support or jump on the GFA train?
Well, the simplest way is scholarships. I mean, we raise money through the University System of Georgia Foundation and provide scholarships for students that are in need. We're also looking to get additional monies for folks that maybe they struggle. They don't have a car. Transportation's an issue. We want to address some of those needs, and especially reaching out to rural Georgia, make sure those kids out there that have to maybe travel 1 or 2 hours, they have the same opportunity as the kids right here that could jump on a bus and go to one of our training facilities here in Atlanta. So that's one of the things that we want to do. And then also, being with us as we go out and recruit and we talk about jobs. Our friends at Disney, they work with us a lot in going out to the high schools and talking about where are the jobs in the industry and how can we create a more diverse workforce, because that's a big thing for them. That they want to make sure that everybody has the same opportunity, and it's not like it used to be. There's women and people of color in all sectors of the entertainment. They're not pigeonholed. I mean, they're everywhere. And it's exciting.
Yeah.
I actually think, we may be more diverse here in Georgia than in some other sectors of the entertainment industry around the world. So I'm very proud of that, but the job is never done.
Yes.
We have to keep the effort up. We can't just rest that we've done a good job. We have to keep working. There's still so many students out there that don't know about this industry and the great jobs that are here.
That's
so
good.
They can help us in that sector. We have companies that donate supplies and things for our students. That helps a lot, as well. And opportunities for internships that they'll bring in an intern and have them come in for a month or two at a time into their business that touches that film industry and shows them how they can be successful in something outside of being just on set.
Right.
So there's other jobs besides being on set, on camera.
Yeah, I like talking to your team about, and I know you guys do these student success stories and things like that. And in our publication, people love those stories.
Yeah.
They love the real life. This person I know, and then we can see it on social where their family members are sharing it around. Yeah. And GFA students are getting real live action. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that as an opportunity first.
We've had students on everything: Marvel movies, Ant-Man and Iron Man and of course Infinity Wars and just even other shows all over the state. Anything that's here filming has the opportunity. We put students, on those shows for internships. And this almost always lead to jobs because it's like a working job interview. So they get a chance to impress somebody, show their skills, and then they get asked to be on the next show or come with me. I want you to work on the weekends for this commercial I'm going to do. And then it just starts snowballing. But I can't tell you how many of our students, they get that one opportunity and then we don't hear from them for 2 years. And we go like, where did you go? And they say, oh, I've been working nonstop. I went with this and I went over here and did Spider-Man. Then I went over here and did this. And some of them now are keys in their industry, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in, they're hiring our students and they're coming to us to get internships. And these are alum are very successful here in the state. And it's just, it's so exciting to see how their lives are changed because these are some kids that maybe never had a chance to do anything. And this was their one chance, and they just love it.
Yeah,
they love it.
It's amazing. When we first started Georgia Entertainment back in 2016, there was this rumbling of like, we're bringing crew in, we're bringing crew in, we're bringing crew in. I don't hardly hear that anymore.
No.
And I feel like I'm pretty plugged in, to what folks are talking.
Anecdotally, I can say this, I guess, on the podcast. So a friend of mine said, back in the day, Randy, and I'll say, you go to the studios and you'd see like 60, 70% of the cars might be California or New York or somewhere like, out of state. Well, now my buddy who's in New Mexico said there's like 50% of the cars there are Georgia plates. So it's kind of like our people even have a chance to go out and get money from other states and bring it back to Georgia because they live here still. But they'll go there and work for 2-3 months and come back. So we're we flip the cards. We're actually exporting some of our talent because they're so
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely. If you go to a studio today, and we were just at one about a week ago, I looked at every plate. I mean, there was the rental car, I think probably from Nebraska or something like that. But most all the cars are Georgia-based, and they represent a lot of counties. And sometimes I'm like, man, I wish, that legislators and policymakers and folks that have doubts about who's here, could see this as well. But like I said, you don't hear that as a complaint, and that's thanks to the Georgia Film Academy and all these efforts to train our own crew, and to have our own crew here in the state.
And it's been really successful. People are learning. I think it's happening organically. There's a lot of talk. There's always misconceptions about any industry that's going on. This is about students. These are about these young kids having a career that they're passionate about.
Right.
And that's going to bubble to the top. It always bubbles to the top. And we just have to persevere, stay focused on the goal. And the goal is the student success.
That's right.
It. That's it. It's not anything else. It's not promoting us. It's not promoting even the industry. It's about the student success. And that's why in the newsletter that you help us with and we do, we really want to focus a big part of that on student success.
That's right.
And also showing where the jobs are and how to get enrolled and, how to stick with it and what you have to do to get, be successful and what are the keys to being successful.
Yeah.
We're here to help the students have those tools so they can be.
Well, one of the things that I've asked you about and gotten great advice from is, the opportunity that we're working on with a small study and a vision that we have is that, career choices for kids. They want these jobs in the creative industries, and the surveys that they're asked to take in secondary education are still, from what I've seen, the same survey I took, 30 years ago. But, our idea is that if it can be reflective and we use that data, which that data is used to fund education by lawmakers and policymakers and so forth. But if we can show too and validate that even more, I feel like you're right. I mean, the bottom line is the education of the kids and the jobs. There's all this blah, blah talk about politics or this or that or whatever. But in the end, the macro thing is jobs for our children. And in Georgia, giving them the choice to stay here where they didn't used to have that.
Yeah, we're really, it's been going great. And I just think we have nothing but success ahead. especially as we reach out further into the state. We'll even see, we're going to see creative students come out all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that part, getting down into South Georgia, getting around, Savannah. We're expanding our program in Savannah and down through coastal Georgia. I'm looking forward to then push north too as the industry grows and spreads, and
it's going up north too.
Yeah, and it is. So we have to be there. We will be there.
Yeah.
And we're developing more online training, stuff that remote, students can log into and be part of, then the immersive stuff. And plus, we're working a lot with the high schools, and we train high school teachers to take that knowledge that we have and take it back to the high schools. And that way the kids know this is a job, and they can start getting skills in high school.
Yeah.
So it's been a great program. We're excited to see where it's going to grow. And we hope this, just starting this podcast, it will be a chance to get more people aware of what we're doing, more people involved, more people, coming to us and say, hey, we want to help. We want to be part of it. It's a team effort. So I'm looking for all the help that anybody wants to offer. We're here.
Well, Scott, I'm honored to be here with you. I think that it's great information that I hope that, and I know you will continue to share on this podcast with the audience. I think that they would love to hear updates about what you're doing. I know we were very general today, this being the first one. But I'm looking forward to watching the future ones where I know some of the things in your head about who you might have on here, but I'm really looking forward to alumni too and hearing what they might say.
That's going to be a big part of it. We want to do that, but I want to showcase industry professionals, like really high level people. Let them talk about their experience and how they got into the industry and how that relates and what kind of things they feel are important that the students need to focus on. Because, you can hear me talk about it all day long, but when they hear somebody that they admire, somebody from the industry or someone that's got some really great credits and have worked on big motion pictures with big companies, it's transformative because we're really relating to that student. So we'll get a lot of stuff, and I appreciate you coming and joining me and kind of kickstarting this whole thing and, being involved with our newsletter and going around inviting me around the state. I really appreciate the opportunity to join you in that mission.
Well, thanks, Scott. We're proud to be partners with you guys and look forward to a continued partnership.
So we'll be more to come. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.